Alright, welcome to the Wildcat Game Day Preview. I'm Eumin Lee.
And I'm Charlie Jacobs.
And we're here today to break down this week's match between our Northwestern Wildcats versus the visiting Indiana Hoosiers. There's a lot of hype and anticipation for this battle, as it's the first time our Cats will be playing with all students back on campus. The Wildcats are heading into this matchup 2-2, with the last game resulting in a tough 24-5 loss to the Washington Huskies. Last season, Indiana was 3-9 overall and 1-8 in Big Ten play. In hopes of a fresh start, they hired a new head coach in Kurt Signetti, and he was quoted in a preseason press conference saying, "It's pretty simple. I win. Google me." And he has truly backed up that statement, with Indiana off to a perfect start of 5-0 this season. Charlie, what would you say are the driving factors behind Indiana's sudden rise?
It's got to be this offense. I mean, this Hoosiers team, they've been red hot so far this season, led by quarterback Curtis Rourke. They have the second most yards per game in the Big Ten behind Ohio State, which is also good for ninth in the country. They've also scored 48.8 points per game, tying them for the best in the Big Ten, again with Ohio State, and also that puts them third in the country there. Rourke should be one of the names being talked about in the Heisman race as well, with how well he's been playing. And the Hoosiers, to back up Rourke, have a great running game, averaging just over 200 yards per game.
It's truly incredible the way Signetti was able to transform the Indiana offense. Charlie, could you get into some of the key injury updates that could really alter this matchup?
Well, the injuries have already been a big problem for the Wildcats. They lost center Jack Bailey for the season, and offensive lineman Nick Herzog's status is up in question for this week. The Cats have only given up 3 sacks this season, which is a huge improvement from last year, but the Hoosiers are tied for 8th in the country with 17 sacks this season. Luckily, Cam Porter is trending towards playing this week. In Week 4 against the Washington defense, they loaded the box and dared Jack Lausch to throw. Lausch ended up really struggling, and having Cam Porter back will take some weight off his shoulders. Porter should also help with the red zone offense, with much to be desired following the Washington game. Whether Indiana implements a similar defensive strategy as Washington or not, Porter can hopefully get some juice back into this offense.
All right, so while our offense may have had struggles, our defense, especially our front seven, have really made Northwestern a formidable force to play against. How do you think the Indiana offense will fare against our defense?
The Indiana offense, as I mentioned earlier, has been unstoppable. Curtis Rourke has been one of the best passers in all of the FBS this season, and he's not looking to slow down. The one unknown here is that Indiana's schedule has been against a lot of these teams. The 5 teams they've played are all bottom 50 defenses in the country. And their best attribute for Northwestern, they have one of the better defenses in the FBS this year, and their best attribute on defense is stopping the run, led by Xander Mueller, who has been a force to be reckoned with at linebacker. And also you have Devin Turner, who's been great at preventing the breakaway runs. The pass rush has also been good for the Cats, with 12 sacks on the season. The biggest question mark, though, is the secondary. Other than veterans Coco Azema and Devin Turner, this secondary is very young and inexperienced. This Week 5 bye couldn't have come at a better time, as it's perfect for these guys to start stepping up.
Okay, thanks, Charlie, for all that insight. And then based on all these factors, can I get a final score prediction from you?
I don't think the Hoosiers will score as much as they have been this season, because the Cats' defense is much better compared to the other competition they have faced. I do still think Indiana is going to win, and I'm going to say 27-6 Hoosiers.
All right, so we hope everyone tunes in this Saturday to cheer on our Wildcats for the first game lakeside with students back on campus.
Go Cats!
Go Cats!